I want to discuss unpaid work and how important it is for your photography business. I think that it's a topic that gets neglected because everybody is so excited about booking the paying clients and about booking the bigger gigs and about working with companies and corporations and expanding and getting bigger and booking better clients and more clients, and everything is very tied to adding revenue to your business, which I think is extremely important. But unpaid work is one of the most important components of my business, and it has been since the inception of my business, since my portfolio building days, before I ever started charging or trying to attract real clients. So I want to talk about unpaid work today and all the ways that I leverage my unpaid work into my marketing strategies and just to better my business as a whole. So you can call it personal work. I'm going to refer to it as unpaid work because some of these are personal endeavors for me and some of them are not. So I'm not going to really call it personal work. I just prefer unpaid work. And I implement a lot of unpaid work into my business for several reasons. Something that I have learned through a lot of failure is that I try to combine as many of these things together as I possibly can into a single shoot to ensure the most success, okay? So one reason you might do unpaid or personal work is an altruistic reason, which is fantastic. This is where I would call it personal work. This would be fueling some creative juice or fanning some creative flame within you where you have a desire to create, you have a desire to give back, and I think that it's extremely important for you to follow that desire, for you to make time for it to personally fulfill you. This is one that I would consider as personal work. It can be giving back to your community. It can be giving back to a person. It can be donating to a rescue or some type of nonprofit. But if there is some altruistic motive about making the world a better place, about how you can use your gifts and your talents as an artist and through photography, that's fantastic. One of the big things I want to emphasize if you are doing something for an altruistic reason is to actually not tie marketing intentions behind it or have expectations of booking clients behind it. You could be sorely disappointed. And hopefully that isn't the case. Hopefully you donate a session to a silent auction and it brings you 1,000 new clients and it was a raging success. But the truth of the matter is, more often than not, you're going to donate your photography to a silent auction. It's not going to get bid on, or it is going to get bid on at a small fraction of what your going rate is. You're not going to bring in a single qualified lead as a new client. And if you did that donation only to get new clients out of it, you're going to be very, very disappointed. If you want to, I'm not saying don't donate. I'm not saying don't give back. I'm not saying don't serve your community. What I am saying, if you are doing something with an altruistic motive, if you're going to donate to that silent auction, it better be to a cause you absolutely love. It better be no strings attached, zero expectations, a true gift. That way, if nothing comes from it, no harm, no foul. It was a gift. There were no strings. You had no expectations. And if something great does come from it, then hallelujah, praise Jesus. It's only gravy, it's only extra, it's only a bonus if something good does come from that. So that's an important thing. I see too many people get very, very sad or disappointed that something didn't go the way they wanted. Maybe they took photos of rescue horses and they never got a paying client from it. Well, it was a stretch to expect that in the beginning. And secondly, if you're going to do something from the bottom of your heart, make sure it's from the bottom of your heart and you don't have any strings and you're not trying to attach anything else to it. Now, I said I don't call it personal work, I call it unpaid work, but another point of personal work is if you have a personal mission. So maybe this isn't as altruistic to make the whole world a better place. Maybe this is just scratching an itch that you have. In 2016, I photographed all my childhood horses. I called it a series called The Horse That Built Me, and it was very much a personal mission. Now, I completely combined it with a bunch of other stuff on this list I sold those images as stock images and made money off of them. I submitted them to every single publication that would repost those blogs so that it would get as most exposure as it could. I used those images in a lot of different advertising. I tried to combine as many different marketing avenues as I could to that personal work, but it was fulfilling something for me personally. It was work that I wanted to do, and it was scratching an itch that I had there. So if you have a personal mission to, it could be all sorts of different things, wherever your heart is tied to, then absolutely that is such a great use of your time and your talent. Or sometimes you just need to step away from paid work and create only for yourself, only to heal your own soul, or only to ignite a new love for this hobby or business or whatever photography is to you. Another reason I do unpaid work is when companies send me products in trade for images. So occasionally I will have companies reach out to me and want exposure for their brand or their products. And so what I'll do is I will try to gather as much of that as I can, wait until I have multiple products from multiple brands, and then try to use them all in a single shoot, just so that I'm maximizing my time. Again, everything about unpaid work for me is trying to double up as many ways as I can on all these things. Because like I said, I've failed a lot of times at my unpaid work, and I found the most success is to combine as many of these things into a single shoot as possible. So I will wait until I have a whole stack, a bunch of hats, a bunch of sweatshirts, a bunch of t-shirts, some new jeans, somebody who sent me boots. I'll wait a whole bunch, and then I'll go get a model, and we'll go through all those looks, and we'll knock it all out. Then I'll send those images to the companies or whatever arrangement that we had, and we'll be smooth sailing from there. Another reason I might be doing unpaid work is because I have new gear to test out. And I always practice on models and not paying clients if I do not have 100% confidence in my gear. Every time that I get a new lens, that lens interprets light differently than all of my other lenses. So I want to make sure that I know it inside and out, that I have a safe place to fail, that I can test it to its limits, that I can use it in lighting situations that are extreme. And again, it's a very safe place to fail. So I always practice on models. I never practice on my clients when I'm testing out any type of new gear. A new camera, because it's going to have a different color profile. A new lens, because it's going to interpret light differently. Anything like that. Another reason I will do unpaid work is because there's someone I want to photograph for my portfolio. So sometimes there are people that I meet at horse shows, or I'm scrolling on Instagram and come across them, or perhaps I've been on their agency's website, or for a whole host of reasons, there might be somebody that I want in my portfolio. It might be their horse I want in my portfolio. It might be an interesting look that they have. It might be the new diversity that I need. If there's a riding discipline that I feel is underrepresented, or an ethnicity I feel is underrepresented, or whatever I feel like my personal portfolio is lacking, I will fill that with models who fit the criteria. Another reason I might do unpaid work is I think there is content I can leverage for my marketing collateral. So sometimes there's a person that I might want to shoot for a certain advertising campaign that I personally want to do. So it's not just the portfolio on my website, but I might actually have an entire marketing strategy. Just if I want to photograph more hunter jumpers, then I need a lot of warm bloods and a lot of content with warm bloods to attack that demographic. Or if I want to do less high school senior portraits and more middle-aged women, I'm going to need a lot more middle-aged women. I need content that will appeal to whatever audience I'm trying to go to. And so I'm very strategic in my marketing plan of who I'm trying to target, and then the images that will lure them and attract them in. And so if I'm lacking anything, not just in a personal portfolio like the previous example was, but in my advertising collateral or my marketing collateral that I need, I will fill that with, again, subjects who fit the bill. And then another big reason I do paid work is if I think I can license or sell those images later, or if I think they would make great stock photography content, or if I can add them to the shop where I sell pictures as artwork. So this is where I've done model calls and gotten a very, very diverse set, so that if I have a company that says, I need a black horse doing dressage, I have somebody I can go call upon. Or I need a Palomino team roping, I have somebody that I can go call upon. So that sometimes I get very specific requests from companies or editorial pieces that are trying to fit an article they're writing or an advertising campaign they're running. And I need to be able to source those images. Sometimes I will set up shoots simply because I think that that would be a valuable stock image for me to have on hand. I might need a barrel racer in action, or I might need a person jumping over a fence. I will set up those shoots in advance to have those images ready in a stock photo gallery for consideration of whoever might need those pictures. So again, there's so many reasons I do unpaid work. A really big one is if there's a gap in my schedule, I fill it. So if I do not have a full schedule of paying clients, then I start bringing in and filling any gaps I have with unpaid work. And I try to knock as many of these off as I possibly can. So I might be testing out new gear. It might be one single shoot, and in that shoot, I rented a new lens to see if I want to buy it. I have 6 hats, 2 pairs of boots, and 10 t-shirts that companies sent me. And I chose a model who I've been dying to photograph because I want her in my portfolio. And, I might be combining 3 or 4 reasons I'm doing that unpaid shoot, and I have found that gives me the highest success rate of feeling like that shoot was very valuable. I use a lot of unpaid work to leverage my marketing. I rarely advertise with paying clients. Sometimes I do, but the majority of the time I feel more comfortable advertising with my model work and my unpaid work. A lot of the times I get to style them exactly how I want to. They get to look how I want. They trailered into the location that I wanted. And everything is in my control to make sure that I'm delivering the message that is important for my brand to deliver. So I think unpaid work doesn't get as much glory as it deserves, especially in the portrait sphere. It certainly does in the advertising spaces. I know some fashion photographers who 90% of their work is unpaid work and 10% is paid. Now, it's easier for a fashion photographer because they could be booking gigs that are $60,000 to $100,000 at a time. And that's just not going to happen in the portrait photography space. So, it's not going to look 90-10 for us, but it might look 50-50. It might look 75% paid, 25% unpaid. It might look different for each of us, but I think it's very important. And I think that you can leverage unpaid work to either book paying clients in the future or to get paid on that work at a later date.